Come on in. My name is Shell, and I am a garden enthusiast. And today I want to teach you how to start a low budget garden area or seed starting area house. So I get a lot of questions. I've been gardening for this is going to be going into year 4. I discovered the garden during the time that I was in transition with my son going to college and my middle son at the time deciding that he didn't want to travel and play AAU basketball. And then I had to decide what did I want to do with my life. And because I am also a therapist, I'm a mental health counselor, and I own and work at a rehab. And so several of my clients had asked me to start gardening. And I used to say, no, 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 that's old white people stuff. But now I say I must be old white people. But that's some of the misconceptions around gardening. Gardening has a lot of myths and misconceptions, and I think one of the biggest ones is that it's just something that old people do, and that there's not many benefits. But actually, my new book 10 is coming out, and it's actually discovered the superpower of gardening as self-care. And so because I've been promoting gardening and I've been going live on social media from time to time, been showing my journey of gardening, I am endeavoring to help 1,000 people start gardening. So I may not know who you are, but I want to inspire 1,000 people to start gardening. I've already inspired several, and I want to continue that journey. And so today, if you're someone who's been considering gardening, I want to teach you how you can start a low budget seed starting area in your house, apartment, wherever you live. So, first of all, a couple of things. Of course, someone is calling me. I'm so sorry. But wanted to let you know a few things that you'll need. So, first thing is a grow light. This is a grow light. I got it from a big box store. You can pick this one up. I think this one came from Walmart. It was $16 and I think 94.97 cents. And you just need a because we've got to have humidity, and so plastic wrap. I got this from a big box store as well. That was less than $3. A pack of solo cups, 100 packs end up being about 11 cents a piece. They were about $7. Then you need a bag of seed starting mix. This is a bag I already have, but this will cost you about 10 bucks. And a pan, and I got 2 pans for about $4. And so here we go. Now, the thing that I want to show you is these are the only things that you need to start seeds indoors. Wow. Did you know that? And if you look here, you can get about 3 of these, and you can go 5 deep, which is 15. So you could have 15 seeds going in this pan. And the pan was $4. So you talk about 17 plus 4, that's 21, plus 5 more is 26. $10. So for about 36 bucks, under $40, you have you a seed starting area. You don't need any big shelves or anything like that if you just want to be a beginner gardener and start indoors. And matter of fact, I'm going to show you how you can start right here on your countertop. And let me grab the other pan, and you can have both pans under here growing at least 30 seedlings. So I just have this to hold up. You can have both pans under here growing maybe 29 seedlings if you put that one inside. 29 seedlings at a time. So I just want you to know that it's very easy to start your own indoor growing space. So this is what we do. I didn't take this light out. I bought several lights. So I took one out and I left that one in. But here's the light. So this is a 4-foot light. It has about 5,500 looms, and that is more than enough to start seeds and begin to grow them. I just wanted to elevate it a little bit, so I actually have a bouquet bucket that I turned upside down. If you have a mason jar, if you have a canister, anything that you want to utilize, I'll bring this closer and you can see that I just have that holding the light up, and have it holding the light up on this side as well. And it's out on our countertop. And this is actually the first spot where I started my first seeds. And I bought the little small grow light that comes in the kit. and it only grew maybe about 10, 12, and we're going to be able to start about 30 seedlings right here, and that's more than enough to get you going. One of the things that I wanted to show you under just a small grow light that I had, I actually started a couple of zinnias the other day. I do this even before, I show people how to do it. This is something that I do at home anyway. I do have some very elaborate grow spaces, but I also want to show you very simple ways that you can have a grow space and that you can grow. So this is what you do. You would have your pan, and I went ahead and pre-filled my cups with starting soil, and I have a sunflower seed right here. I have sunflower seed. I have a zinnia seed. And because I wanted you to be able to follow, I don't know if you can see that, but there's the zinnia seed. And I wanted you to be able to see something sprout pretty quickly. I also have some lettuce seeds, and they're super, super tiny. But I am going to start a few lettuce seeds today. So let's see if you can see those. So those are some lettuce seeds. So lettuce seeds come up pretty quickly. They don't take very long to grow, and you can cut, they come again, cut, come again. So I wanted to kind of come follow back up so that you can follow this and see that it's very easy to grow inside. But what you do is you just mount your grow lights. I do have lights under my shelf here, but I have those on so you can see. But we will cut those off, and I will cut the grow light on. So boom, now our grow lights are on. Very bright, maybe a little hard to see here what I'm on. But first thing you do is you fill your cup, or you make holes in the bottom of your cups. So here we go. I have a bag of cups that already have holes in those. And the easiest way to do it, here's a secret as to how you can do it. If you just light a candle and you get a screwdriver right here and just set it over the fire and then just push it through, it'll make the hole in your cup. Set it over the fire, let it get hot, and just push it through. It'll make the hole in your cup. So pretty super simple, doesn't cost you anything. You're using things that you have around the house. If you get say a sweet tea cup from McDonald's or one of the fast food restaurants, I've used water bottles before. So when my kids empty out water bottles, we save the water bottles. I'll show you really quick. We save our water bottles. If you don't want to buy cups, then once your water bottle is finished, then I just take a pair of scissors and I squeeze it. I cut it through halfway. I guess you could use the other side, or you could use it as a dome, so you don't even have to have saran wrap. But I cut half of it off. I put the dirt in there, and I do the same thing. I would take a candle, light the candle, get my screwdriver hot, push it, and it would make holes. I literally have started tons of seeds in water bottles as an inexpensive way to start seeds. And you can put the top back over it. If you don't want to cut it all the way, just cut it halfway. That will give you the dome that you need to make a humidity dome, where you don't even have to use saran wrap. So that's even a more cost-effective way, because most of us probably have water bottles around our house or water bottles around the workplace or whatever. Or you can ask people. I've asked people before to collect water bottles, because one of the other things that I do to water bottles is a cheat code is I have huge pots that I grow in, but I don't want to fill those pots all the way up with dirt. So I throw water bottles and milk gallon jugs or jugs in the bottom, and then I'll fill so much up with dirt so that I can pack that huge pot. I can move that pot where it needs to go, and I know that whatever's going to be planted in there is going to have shallow roots and doesn't need to take a whole 20, 25, 30 inch of my pot. So I dump tons and tons of water bottles in there. So that's kind of the cheat code that you can use to save dirt and also save your arms some weight of all that dirt. So once we have the holes in the bottom of our cup, then we just go ahead and we fill our cup up with seed starting soil. I've already done that, but I'll fill this one up some more. And then you can go ahead and wet that soil if you want to. My soil, I'm gonna wet this after I plant this seed so I don't have to go off camera again. I usually plant a couple of seeds in the same cup of the same variety, just for germination rates, because some germination rates on certain seeds aren't as good as others. And then if you have a marker, you can mark that seed. You can use painter's tape, and you can mark, and you can place it where it needs to go in your seed starting tray. I also usually date whenever I start my seeds, and the reason why is because seeds have a maturity rate, and I want to know from the time that I start the seed, how much time should that plant take to mature. All right, the second one is, let's go ahead and do a sunflower. I've got a couple of sunflower seeds. You just poke them in. Usually go down about a fourth. This part of your finger gets you to about a fourth. You can measure your fingers if you want. I've done that before. I know that this part of my hand to here is 6 inches. And so you may need to measure yours. If something needs to go 6 inches, I just use my hand. So there you go. I've got 2 sunflower seeds in there. This is pretty wet already. It's dripping out the bottom. You can see that. That's fine. I'm going to set this down under here. Now I have my sunflower. I have my zinnia. And this is a zinnia that I started the other day. And so those are growing up. These are the first leaves. Those are not the true leaves of the zinnia, but it's the first leaves. It's stretching a little bit. It's a little leggy because I had it too far down from the grow lights. So I'm moving this here so the grow lights can be closer to the zinnia. Sometimes you can set things up, or you can sometimes I set my trays up on things so I can get a little more elevation. I can get it raised up more, so then it's not stretching looking for the light and becomes leggy. It's actually, the light is exactly where it's supposed to be. So let's look at one of these and go ahead and plant some lettuce in this one. Lettuce is going to be a little tricky because it's so small. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 3 holes for the lettuce. And I just kind of tap, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. So there's my 3 lettuce seeds. Let's cover those back up. Let's get them under the grow light. And I'll do a different form of lettuce. So that was Simpson black seeded lettuce, and this is salad lettuce. So I'm going to put that one in here. Let's do a salad bowl lettuce in this one. I'm going to make 3 spots in here as well. And again, I just try to squeeze this a little bit and just tap it. And it's okay if there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. And it's okay if more than 1 or 2 fall in a hole, because you can cut them after they grow and show their cells, whichever one looks the strongest. I'm going to let these continue to grow together for a little while, and then whichever one looks the strongest, I'm going to cut. Sometimes if they're in the same hole, you don't want to pull, because you could actually damage and pull the root out of the other one. So with that being said, now we have lettuce. The last thing that I'm going to plant is cucumber. So I have some quick snap cucumbers, pretty good, and I'm going to see if we can grow those in-house. So I have a way to raise this, and then I have some other shelves in the house that if this gets too tall. But some of these other things should stay pretty small, except the sunflower and the cucumber. And so I wanted to go ahead and start some things that I wanted to see bloom in the next couple of months. So the sunflower should bloom by the end of January, and the cucumbers will probably be ready by maybe toward the end of December, the beginning of January. So anyways, but I'm going to put a couple of cucumbers in here. Let you see the seeds. There's the cucumber seeds. So I have 2 of those quick snap cucumbers. I grew those this summer. I've grown those in the house before. They've done well. And you can eat cucumbers for breakfast, lunch, dinner, however you want it. So we have our cucumbers, we have our lettuce, and I'm just gonna sit the packages where they go. And then I know that I have my sunflowers back here, and I have my zinnias there. And so that is the way that you start an indoor grow station. Now, the way that you create a humidity dome, you can do it 1 or 2 ways. I am going to do it over every individual cup. But if I did not have the zinnias already going, then I would just take the saran wrap and I would wrap this entire tray, and therefore, once I wrap the entire tray, you would see that it would create that heat that the seedlings need to have the correct humidity that they need in order to grow. But because I already have zinnias growing, I'm going to do it a little bit different this time, and I'm going to actually wrap each and every cup by itself. So therefore, if as they sprout at different rates, and I'm ready to take the dome off, I can take the dome off when I'm ready to. Now, if you do not have a heat mat, that is okay, because these loom lights actually put off a little heat. They don't put off as much as like how do you say it, the fluorescent lights or whatever. But these lights last for a long time. They put off a little heat. That reflection coming back will create some heat over this dome, and that would actually heat the soil. Another trick that you can do is I like to water the soil from the bottom. So you can always use hot water whenever you pour in water to water your soil. From the bottom, you can utilize hot water and pour it into the tray. But again, if I didn't have the zinnias in there, which I may move the zinnias so that I can show you, move the zinnias over here, and then I'll be able to show you how to cover the entire tray as well. But I'm just wrapping those individually. So you can do it that way. If you feel like that's a waste of saran wrap, don't do it that way. Save your money and just make two. And I literally have done this. This is what I did last year to grow in the house, because I had to create some more grow stations. And so I just made humidity domes whenever I started dahlias and different things like that I had growing and going in the house. And here we go. And this was the cheap Walmart saran wrap. There we go. All right, here we are. And if you're careful, there you go. Now you've started your seeds. So again, we started 5. You can start up to 30 if you like. These lights actually do come with hooks. So I have them hooked to my shelving that I have downstairs. I do have those hooked, but I didn't hook them here. I guess if I wanted to attach, this is not a normal grow station for me anymore. I did start here, but I just want to show you how you can start at home. You can start right in your kitchen. You don't have to have some big space or any extra space at home. You can do this in a closet. I'm gonna cut this off so you can see me a little better. There we go. But you don't have to have some big grow space. I could even put this in a closet, this light in a closet. I actually have a shelf that, I have a table that I have one of these lights that goes through the bottom legs of the table, and then I stack shelves, and I have seeds going that way, that I have used a pan that I turn upside down, and I sit my seed trays on that under that table so that I can have more grow space. So there's a creative ways that you can have inexpensive ways to start seeds in your house. But all of this you could do. I didn't even pay $40 for this. I paid, I had my receipt. I took a screenshot. I think it was $24.97 for the lights, the trays, and the saran wrap. And I already had of course, I already had the seeds, and I already had the cups at home. But if you needed to buy all of those things, you could get it for less than $40, including your seed starting mix. And remember, if you wanted to save money on cups, start saving your bottled waters, and that would take away your cups and also your saran wrap, because you can use the top, what you cut off the cup, as the dome. So anyways, there are inexpensive ways to start your indoor garden for the year. And now 'tis the season. We're about to get out of December, and guess what? January, for many of us that start flowers and certain vegetables, January and February begins to kick off our season. Happy gardening.